I thought I'd do an updated review on the Vibram Five Fingers KSO. KSO stands for Keep Stuff Out, and how they play a big role in being an effective lever of giving you greater mechanical control, helping create more balanced, more productive footsteps during running and walking. Because aside from going barefoot, the KSO is one of Vibram's thinner shoes, and when you can feel the ground with good sensory clarity, helps make it more possible for your forefoot strike landing to become more easily sustained during running, which not only can give you an economic opportunity to perform better, but a more effective forefoot strike may also help narrow your odds of getting injured. Firstly, I really want to underscore that the KSOs were actually voted the most popular out of all the Vibram models for its versatility and have remained incredibly favorable since their inception about a decade ago. So, what can the KSO be used for? With my own personal experience, along with other wear tester accounts, the KSOs are the perfect shoe for running short to long distances. They're great for 5K runs to the marathon, particularly on smooth roads, grass, or semi technical terrain, the beach as well, and obstacle course races. They're also great for walking on pretty much any kind of terrain and backwoods trail hiking. They're great for other sports like golfing, soccer, kickboxing, karate. They're great for CrossFit, high intensity interval training, as well as lifting. They hold up impressively well in wet and humid conditions. That's why they're great for swimming as well as whitewater rafting, because the Velcro straps really locks the shoe onto your foot very securely as compared to regular water shoes. And last but not least, the KSOs are excellent for casual wear. So what are the specifications that makes the KSOs so effective, and what gives the KSOs their greatness and high degree of likability? In looking at the upper of the KSO, it's made of abrasion resistant, stretchy, supple, thin nylon that's flexible, adaptable, and stretches to accommodate a wider foot and to your overall unique foot contours. It really does bond to your foot like a sock, which is pretty much in line with the rest of how most Vibram Five Finger shoes feel and fit on the foot. Bottom line, the upper of the KSO is incredibly form-fitting, like a wrap around your foot. In terms of breathability, the upper is very airy. It provides good airstream to keep your feet cool in warmer temperatures. Since the upper of the KSO does provide large intake air volume, you may want to wear toe socks in them if you plan on running in freezing temperatures, but that's just based on my preference. The upper is also pretty durable. I would say more durable than the upper of the KSO Evos. I did a video review of the KSO Evos, which is linked down below in the description box if you want to check that out. In fact, the KSO's upper is quite durable enough for high mileage on all sorts of terrains like soft trails, grass, and muddy areas. The seams are pretty solid as well, and they do a really good job at holding the shoe together. As for the shaft height, the KSO fits a little higher up in the ankle, a little higher up than most Vibram models, but lower than most traditional running shoes. Seems to me also that the KSO has more material density than most Vibram shoes, yet the KSO doesn't feel any heavier or bulkier. My feet kind of feel more armored and protected in the KSOs. The material construction of the KSO seems more durable than the KSO Evos. I'm also a big fan of the hook and loop Velcro strap closure. It really provides an adjustable, dynamically adaptable fit that really helps the shoe lock on to the foot in a comfortable way, not too tight and not too loose. It secures the shoe onto the foot to prevent the foot from slipping around inside the shoe, especially when wet. Also, the closure as well as the upper construction of the KSO are literally tailored to keep debris out, hence KSO stands for Keep Stuff Out, because it really does a great job at doing just that. I've never had to fuss with small pebbles or sand getting trapped inside the shoe. In all, the Velcro strap makes for a very accommodating lock-in fit that doesn't compromise comfort. Overall, the upper's durability life seems pretty long lasting. These shoes have been through rain and mud many, many times over, which hasn't caused any loss in structural integrity to the shoe. As for the individual toe sockets, which is what makes the Vibrams most recognizable out of all running shoes, the toe sockets have plenty of room. They're very flexible and stretchy. They bend well with your toes. They really encourage your toes to spread out, prompting greater toe flexion and toe extension, which is going to offer better handling in terms of better balance control, especially on uneven terrain. You'll definitely feel more stable, more balanced, and of course, when you have better balance control at the feet, also puts the ankle in a stronger position, making overall dynamic stability of the foot ankle complex more easy to sustain. In contrast, failing to allow full toe splay and toe flexion and extension during running and walking, which would be the inevitable outcome in most traditional running shoes, because traditional running shoes tend to have a very narrow toe box, causing the toes to cram and squish together, even overlap onto each other, which may certainly postpone any realistic effort in improving ankle strength and toe strength. This is why sometimes, because of the loss of toe splay, flexion, and extension, may create unbalanced footfalls, which may be an open slot for an ankle injury in traditional running shoes. Luckily, you can count on the Vibram KSOs for encouraging the toes to play a more active role, putting your toes to work in the way that they should by expanding at each step, bringing much needed landing stability. Another way the Vibram KSO improves balance security during running and walking is through its incredibly thin outsole, which heightens your sensory awareness to levels not experienced in most traditional running shoes. The more you can feel the ground, the more it really helps keep you focused on your foot strike pattern during running, which should be a forefoot strike landing pattern. The outsole thinness of the KSO really infuses the foot with the sensory capital that helps guide your forefoot strike to be better positioned to secure a shortened stride, a higher cadence, as well as a lighter exchange with you and the ground, which is going to help deliver more impact protection. You can certainly harness the power of the sensory feedback to deliver the changes you want to see in your mechanics, which not only includes spreading more balance stability, but gives you a more proactive footing because you'll be more continuously aware of your foot strike pattern and intensity. And it's probably one of the most reliable ways to bring together safer, lighter, more responsive mechanics that aren't self-defeating or damaging to the body. The outsole of the KSO is 3.5 millimeters thin, but impressively durable, which is a high praise for the shoe because it's very tricky to formulate an outsole that's paper thin, that streamlines, high sensory resolution, that replicates the feel of being barefoot, but at the same time is durable and puncture resistant enough to match the demands of high mileage running on any kinds of surfaces, especially harder surfaces. But with my experience, the outsole of the Vibram KSO has the durability to support high mileage running. In my view, the outsole of the KSO is more durable to that of the KSO Evo's outsole, but not as durable as the Sakwa X8 outsole, to which the Sakwa X8's outsole is even thinner than the KSO. You can find my review on the Sakwa X8 linked down below in the description box as well. Another feature of the KSO's outsole that I like is that it provides decent grip, yet doesn't have aggressive protruding tread that makes your foot stick to the ground. The razor sipped tread pattern on the KSO is not only non-marking, but provides easy handling for if you want to go fast on softer trails and in wet and humid conditions. Overall, the KSO's rubber outsole has quite a long durability life considering how thin it is. The KSOs are also a flat shoe. They don't have a stacked heel, which is perfect because there's no mechanical interference that prevents the heel from fully lowering down to the ground, which in turn puts the Achilles tendon in a very unique position to potentially load up with more elastic spring energy, which can be an economic imperative and potentially giving you more gas mileage because your stride will be more spring loaded, which may cut down on muscular demands of the lower leg. Also, the lack of heel padding may free the heel from heel pain because, in most cases, running shoes with a stacked heel, like heel padding, smashes off the heel at each step during running, which adds up over running long distances and may cause radiating heel pain. But this is not the case with the KSO because there's no structural obstructions at the heel. When you land on your forefoot, the heel lowers to the ground more fully. There's nothing jabbing into the heel. That's one of the highlights that I really appreciate about zero drop running shoes. And of course, being zero dropped or completely flat closely reflects the barefoot condition because obviously, when we're barefoot, there is nothing propped up under our heel. The flatness of the KSO or the lack of heel padding can aid as a mechanical recalibrator as well, helping deter you from heel striking when you run, helping secure a more effective forefoot strike landing pattern because it's going to hurt if you heel strike in these shoes. As compared to the outsole of the KSO Evo in the Saucony X8, the outsole of the KSO is slightly stiffer and less soft, but the KSO still gives very similar ground feel and a high degree of sensory clarity, which again is necessary and strategic in helping get the proper mechanics in order so that costly mechanical mistakes can be avoided because when more sensory input is delivered through the foot, it elevates the role of certain reflexes involved in mediating greater hip extension, which means a higher back kick, which helps drive a shorter stride, as well as a higher step frequency, which can help phase out certain impact force variables. As for the insole of the KSO is of a 2 millimeter thin EVA material that offers comfort and is responsive and flexible. It moves extremely well with your foot like the rest of the shoe. Even though the insole is a moderate layer of protection, it doesn't diminish ground feel resolution or clarity. It actually overall makes for a fast, light feel. The KSOs are machine washable. Let them air dry. They actually dry very quickly. Just for a sizing tip, because they do fit like a glove, you may want to get the neck size up from your regular size. Overall, the KSO is really one of my favorite running shoes. I'm really impressed with not only the versatility of the shoe, but the shoe's construction in terms of its durability. I love that the KSO moves extremely well with your foot and holds up extremely well considering how thin the materials are. I also know that the KSO is a popular choice among those who do obstacle course races. I also love that the KSO gives the sensation that you aren't wearing anything at all on your feet, which really does make for a fast, light ride. If you don't want to run in the KSOs but would rather walk in them, that's great too because there's no structural obstructions, as I call it, as the KSO is really an invaluable foot strengthening tool for if you don't want to walk barefoot either. And of course, the KSO also does more than just strengthen the feet, helping the feet become more physically resilient and tolerant. They also help you move better with more balanced biomechanics because of their capacity to almost fully replicate the feeling of being barefoot. You always have to remember that sustained mechanical competence and effectiveness is fundamentally influenced by external cues at the bottom of the bare foot. And aside from going barefoot, the thinner the outsole of a shoe, like the KSO, can be an important source of external cues or sensory feedback that can be a reliable mechanical stabilizing force. And lastly, one of the most appealing aspects of the shoe, aside from the toe sockets, is the lightness, as reduced weight is always important because it doesn't really undermine economic sufficiency. Without a doubt, the KSO is really the ultimate light, flexible, and agile package that may help you make tremendous progress in reversing foot weakness. In that regard, I just want to say a special note on the anecdotal evidence that I came across about the clinical relevance of the KSO, and that according to lots of anecdotal accounts, the KSO seems to have an impressive record of success in helping resolve knee pain, shin splints, foot pain, and hip pain, making the KSO an appealing therapeutic strategy as compared to the traditional running shoe, probably because of the KSO's role in engaging the foot in ways that help spread stability to the rest of your body And of course, the KSO helps provide the engaging sensory input that your foot strength and mechanical effectiveness needs to thrive in ways that may help you become more prepared to meet the demands of running. I hope you've enjoyed this review. I also did a blog post version of this review, which is linked down below in the description box. And I also linked where you can get the Vibram KSOs. To stay updated on all the latest research regarding the health and performance benefits of barefoot running and forefoot running, please hit the subscribe button down below. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Have fun out there on the roads and trails. Bye for now.